Good morning and welcome to the Trading Success Blueprint and Beginners Online Trading webinar. My name is Danny and I will give you the webinar today. So I should begin with a quick explanation to the webinar, what will happen in every step. Firstly, we'll have a nice introduction to the company, what we have in our facility, what services here can assist you along your journey. We'll speak also about some functions we have here. And the second part will be the practical part, the majority of the webinar. And lastly, perhaps analysis. The second part will be purely practical. Hopefully, it will give you the ability to understand a bit better the concept of trading, how to execute a position that would make sense and fit to your ambitions. And the third part, like I said, it's quite optional because I'm not sure how much time we'll have left. I'll try and go with easy pace, and we'll see how much spare time we'll have, and then we'll see if we can do some analysis, which obviously is going to be on a nutshell, not anything too sophisticated. Regardless, any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Here's a question here. Can you slowly show how to buy or sell? Coming from Zulkifli Ibrahim. So Ibrahim, if you watch closely, all you have to do to buy or sell a position is just click here buy and then click buy. Same goes with the sell. But obviously, I'm going to teach you on the webinar as soon as we begin much more than that. And it's quite imperative to understand what can be the outcome of the position and how to manage it. And this is something we will discuss on the webinar. What I wanted to say, a very frequent request is to receive the recording of the webinars from the nature of the business. And that's fine, but unfortunately, we're not sending recordings of the webinar. We're uploading it to our YouTube channel for your convenience. So if somebody wishes to review the webinar, to just watch it at your own pace with subtitles or whatever you like, you can go to our YouTube channel at AvaTrade and just watch the webinar. It's not just this webinar, all the other webinars are uploaded as well. And that is just great. And we will begin with the introduction. So AvaTrade, as many of you know, we are a regulated company. We have 9 licenses worldwide. We are here since 2006. In case you have a question or a query along your journey, the customer service can be found right here at the bottom left. Chat with us or on the WhatsApp, whatever you prefer. And if you don't see that button here, okay, that whole interface here is called the web trader. And of course, if you're not seeing it, you won't be able to see this particular button. And what you can do is either click on the web trader, okay, or you can ask customer service. You can contact customer service through here for whatever you need, or you can just ask them to apply the web trader on your account, which should be by default, but sometimes it's not like that. This is regarding the customer service. We also have a senior account manager to provide you with assistance regarding trading. Therefore, the customer service is taking care of customer service. The senior account manager is taking care of all the trading queries, such as plan, strategy, risk money management, and some other things. Okay, it's very, very useful to have a senior account manager. We usually hire senior account managers that are trading as well, so it's very useful to speak with somebody who is trading and he's more experienced. And we don't charge anything extra for a senior account manager, so just check your eligibility after you've made a deposit. It's super, super useful. I should carry on with the web trader, but just before that, I would like to mention just the other platforms that we have here, just so you guys will know that, well, whoever likes to trade with MT4 or MT5, which are also quite impeccable, as the web trader. And the nice thing about it is the MT4 and the web trader are correlated. Same with MT5. So what I can do is I can use this facility to get certain information, to do my analysis, to just enjoy the benefits here. And I can then review my positions on MT4 or MT5, or I can execute them on MT4 or MT5. Okay, I can do that. I can use this in MT4 or MT5 at the same time, and that's just very convenient, especially for people who are working with more than one screen. Beside those, we have other options and other social. Other options is something else. We're not going to talk about it. There is just no point. But I would just say that the app is quite excellent in regards to designing your positions, and the whole facility is super accessible. And oh, sorry, there is no audio. Somebody is complaining that there is no audio. Just a second. Anybody else is experiencing an issue, or the audio is maybe just this particular person? I hope that the audio is okay for everybody else. If you can't hear my voice, oh, well, if you can't hear my voice, it's going to be a problem. Let me try and switch that on. Okay, well, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It seems like the audio is back, or check. Let me check your site, because it seems like the rest of the audience is okay. All right, then. Where was I with the Ava Social? So what happens with Ava Social is quite simple. So what I see is I see lists of traders, and what I can do is I can just click on follow or copy. And what it allows me to do is it allows me to get the notifications with the person's position, right? With a trader's position. And then I can follow someone's strategy without trading at all. And I can put it in my sheets, or I can do similarly and execute the positions just by following someone, which is great. And I can also automate my trading by clicking on copy trading. What that allows me to do is the same as the follow. I'm still going to get messages with the positions, and I can execute them similarly. Okay, but in copy, it happens automatically. Copy means that you're going to automatically execute positions the same as the person you're trading, following. Sorry, you're copying. My bad. You're copying, and not only that it will happen automatically. You can also adjust the difference in proportions so it would make sense. So if in case I'm following someone with 100,000 and I'm just with 10,000, then I'm not gonna. Oh, I think I did something. Sorry, guys. I think I've moved something that I wasn't supposed to move. Don't worry, I'm fixing it. And what it allows me to do to copy someone is I'm automatically going to trade, right? And I don't have to do anything. Everything will happen automatically. Okay, and I'm still going to get, let's see if it's back. Gotta be careful with this. Let's try that. Yeah, I know, Emmanuel. There was no video. I think I've moved something that I wasn't supposed to. And as I was saying, to follow or to copy someone, super simple. Following means I'm gonna get messages with the positions and I can execute them or not. Copy means that the positions will be executed automatically on my behalf as long as I'm copying the trader, and I can adjust the difference between if I'm following someone with bigger amount. Okay then. Let's carry on with the web trader. So we'll have time to the practical part as well. What I want to show you today, guys, is the signal section. Okay, so how do I get to the signal section? I have two ways. One is going here on the signal. You see there is signal icon here. Let's minimize that guy. And then I'm going to see that it appears next to the instruments as well. What does that mean? Let me pick something that doesn't have it, and then we'll see. You see, as an example, gasoline doesn't have a signal, heating oil doesn't have a signal, crude oil has it. And a signal means that if I'm going to click it now, okay, and I'm going to expand the chart, I can see that there is certain analysis pre-made for me as a signal. And all I have to do is just to choose a buy or a sell. There is some nice information here, support and resistance, some pivot point mentioned here at the bottom. We don't fully understand what support and resistance are still, but for people who knows, this is very useful. Then I'm going to choose buy or sell. Let's go with a buy. It's important to know that the signals are not manufactured by AviTrade. They are provided from the Trading Central. So we're going to click here on buy. Let's see what happens now. Then we see that take profit and stop loss are marked. Not bad, not bad. Okay, but let's understand a bit better what it means. Everything I just did, this few clicks. Okay, so a signal is instructions of how to buy or how to sell. Basically, what happens when you're using a signal, let's do it from the signal section. The biggest advantage doing it from here, though, you see, it's almost the same. See, in here you get a list of instruments. You can click on View Signal just as from the outside. See, there is almost no difference at all. The only difference is that if, for instance, I want to trade a particular asset, and I don't want to go on the signal section and start, going down here looking for my asset. That can be time consuming. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's suppose I'm specifically trading only coffee as an example, and I just want to know if it has a signal or not. So one way is to go to here, start manually searching. Okay, the other way is simply going to put coffee down. Going to click it. It's important to understand that it was not down from here. It was not done from here. If you're going to do it from here and you click coffee, you're not going to know if it has a signal or not, right? You're not going to know that. Only if you do it from here, then it appears, you see it appears here on the list, and we can see that we have it. Well, this is a case of a signal that is no longer valid. And this is also a great chance to show you what is the advantage doing it from the signal section. Okay? The advantage doing it from the outside is that I don't have to search my asset manually. Just a second, excuse me, guys. The disadvantage is that I don't know when I only know when the signal is produced when I'm clicking on it. When I'm doing it from the signal section, and then I know when it was produced by a linear order. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Danny, what difference does it make if I'm taking a signal from let's say 5 hours ago, or a signal that was just made a minute ago? What do you think, guys? Is there a difference? What do you think? Is there a difference between 5 hours ago to 5 minutes ago? What do you think, guys? Of course. Okay, Billy. So what do you think that would be the difference? What do you think that would be the difference? The market is moved. Yes, correct. The market is moved and the condition changes. Exactly that. Exactly that. So we understand that if I'm looking at a signal that was produced on a certain value, you see that it's mentioned right here. You see entry price. It's based on a certain momentum that was at the same time that it was manufactured. Analysis was done and the signal was produced. That means that with it, certain levels that we are expecting to get to are presented here. Different dynamics. Exactly. Excellent. Now, with that in mind, we understand how often, God knows, Neil, God knows. I don't want to mislead you guys. This kind of questions is not something that I can, again, I'm really, I have no idea. Neil here is asking how often the signals are generated. I just don't know. Alfred, yeah. So what I was about to explain, when the signal was produced, a certain scenario was born, and it was born with certain levels of support and resistance, and it was born with a certain scenario, and that's great. Upon that scenario here, it seems like now it's in a cell type. Let's go with a cell. It's showing me that take profit and stop loss are marked. What exactly are take profit and stop loss? Okay. We have, okay, let's do it the other way around. Okay, we have three pending orders. Don't worry, this is still not the second part. We're still on the first part, but it's important for me that you'll understand that. Otherwise, you wouldn't know how to use the signals. Because the signals, what they're doing is they're placing automatically take profit and stop loss as the signal is analyzed. So I have to explain to you about pending order. Now, in pending order, you have execute when price hits. You have take profit. You have stop loss. What they do is they stop the trade automatically. Okay, you don't have to remember that at all. It's written here. Yeah. But I'm just explaining it to you in my own words to understand the meaning very basically. Automatically with a profit, right? And that one stops it with a loss. Okay, very easy to understand, simple here. Again, the price hits, launches the position automatically when reaching the price. Now, how does that help us? That helps us because if I go with a sell, I already know that the analysis here was done with a signal, and it's already simulating me what can be the potential profit and what can be the potential loss. So in this case, it's 100 for the loss and 10 for the profit. How can I say it gently? This ratio, there is something called risk-reward ratio. Who knows what is? Well, I just said. Never mind. Okay, risk-reward ratio. When we are comparing what can be the potential gain versus the potential loss. I have to be honest with you, to make potentially $14 or to lose 100, how can I put it and still be polite? It's not that great. Okay, and I'm not sure that this scenario really suits my needs. Okay, again, I'm being very gentle. So I'm clicking here on view signal. Let's see the buy scenario. That's much more like it. Much more like it. Okay, this comparison seems much more decent. Okay, making 100, potentially losing a 5, not bad. Okay, on top of it we have analysis, and on top of it we have fundamentals. But if I'm taking purely the signal, I should look at those things. Okay, it's not mandatory, but this is a warm recommendation. Alrighto. So of course, to use it, again, let me show it to you again. Let's click on view signal, choosing the scenario, sell or buy. Let's go this time with a buy. Okay, already here. Again, I can adjust it. Okay, if I don't like it, I can just adjust it. Okay, and then it will be different than the signal, so there is really no point. But you can play with it, guys, and see if you find a scenario that you like, and you can, of course, adjust the lot size and so on and so on. My point, guys, is even if you're using a signal, you should have basic understanding of how to trade so you won't get tangled. And this is, again, a warm recommendation. So let's carry on with our, just beforehand, this is technical analysis. Technical analysis. I'm going to show you something, guys, that will take me maybe half a minute, but you will thank me later regarding fundamental analysis. Now, when I'm looking at the market and I have some technical analysis, let's suppose that, just a second, guys. Okay. Let's suppose that I have some technical analysis, okay, and I have found some very interesting levels in my analysis, but I'm not entirely sure what's causing the market to move this way, right? I'm not entirely sure, and I want to have a better idea what's the reason, okay, because technical analysis, if I'm comparing it to fundamental analysis, would be technical analysis might be how it's moving, right? Averages, statistics, and fundamental analysis would be why it's moving. So if I'm looking at gold, we can understand that the economy is not at its best shape. Let's put it this way. This is why gold has reached all-time high a few times this year. Let me just show you that quickly. Don't worry, I'm getting back to it. But as you can see, it's never been this high. Okay, it's never been this high. I'll go back in history. Yeah, we're looking at years now. Okay, this is 3 years ago. Okay, anyway, the point for this, why am I telling you this story, is because everything is moving with a reason. Nothing is moving just like that. Okay, of course, we have typical behavior and fluctuations, but at the end of the day, there is a reason moving it. Could be the economy, some interest rate decisions, could be something more negative like a war, or God knows, something like that, COVID. There are many reasons. Anyway, the point for me telling you this is technical analysis might not be enough always. So we must have a nice mixture between technical and fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis can be found in any other place beside the charts. In here is an example. This is the news section. Scroll down, found maybe gold. We looked at gold. Let's see what's gold is about today. Okay, commodity buzzing. All right, so one way is to go through here. Many nice categories. In here, I can go to, in discovery, I have analysis views, market buzz, economic calendar, which we don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to show it to you today. In market buzz, what I can find, let's give it a moment. Okay, what I can find that this is super useful and very nice time saver is what is popular now worth reading about, because I don't want to read about all the stocks and all the, okay, I want to find something popular like Apple. And perhaps I have a nice idea of what they are up to. You see, we have news here. We have sometimes market revenue. We sometimes here we have a product release that was mentioned a few times. Yeah, again, I don't want to delay about it too much because everybody can take this journey in a different path, and I really want you to enjoy it. And I also don't want to waste a lot of time on that. So I trust you guys will enjoy that. Before we begin with the second part, you guys will have to excuse me for another maybe 20 seconds, and then we can begin. So I will be right back, and then we will begin with the second part. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we are back, and we can finally begin the second part. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. Let's find ourselves a nice asset to begin with, nice instrument to analyze. Let's see. I think coffee didn't look bad, right? Let's open coffee again, see where it is. It's not bad at all. Okay. Right. So when we analyze an asset, an instrument, before we even get to the analysis, when we pick an asset, we can do this solely with looking at one chart, then begin the analysis. We can switch the time frames. Okay, switch the time frames in here. We're going to go from left to right. Yeah, we're going to go from the search field to the right, explaining what each button here is doing. And then we'll dive down to the business. So this one is a search field. I can click it, delete whatever is here. I'm going to go gold. Then I pick gold, and it's here. Okay, let's stay with coffee for the time being. I can switch the time frames, and then every candle presented here will stand for the time frame that I choose. So for instance, if I'm on month as an example, and I'm going to change to weeks, it's going to show me the 4 weeks that I've marked. Okay, obviously it's a bit more than that, but if I keep it this way, okay, it can help me capture a certain time frame. If I keep going to the right, we have here a different shape of chart. Let's say we can go with a bar, or we can go with a line. Just remember that if you go with a line, you might miss things that you would have seen with the candles. Okay, for instance, let me mark it this way, then you guys will see. When I'm switching to the line, okay, when I'm switching to the line, there are certain things on the chart here. You see, those are important things. Who knows what those are? Those thin lines coming out of the candles, who knows what those are? What is this part? What happened here? Why is this part thin and this part is colored? See, colored area and thin line. What is this thin line? Right? Who knows? And when I'm switching to the line, it's not there anymore, right? It's, well, not here. Rejection. Ooh, very nice. Correct. Correct. Exactly. Very nice. So this is again times when we see the market has reached a certain level and turned around. We don't know the exact reason. Of course, there could be a fundamental explanation related to it. And then we're experiencing those thin lines, which of course extremely useful for analysis. And if I'm using the lines, they're not there. Okay. Now, if I keep going to the right, now I have no information from the candles. Yeah, it's important to understand that. I've got no information. Clicking on it, marking on it, dragging it, nothing is going to give me information from the candles unless I have the crosshair. Now I have no crosshair. I just have a mouse that I can move, but no crosshair. I'm going to click here on the arrow, then I'm going to point in here and go down, crosshair. Then suddenly I can see information and I can do analysis. If I keep going to the right, I can look at few instruments simultaneously. Let's go with 3. Oh, that looks nice. So we have coffee, wheat, and NASDAQ. Let's suppose I want to change what's in the middle. So what I'm going to do, you see there is a blue rectangle around that instrument. Let's change what's in here. You see, when I'm clicking on it, it marks with a blue rectangle, and then I can change what is in here. So I can put, what can I put? Let's say Euro USD, right? Click here, and then it's changing it. Only this one. Okay, let's go back to the coffee. I'm gonna click on chart layout. Very good, very good. Now, if I keep going to the right, we have indicators. No problem, we're gonna add an indicator anyway, so there is no point showing you that. In here, I can place all kind of nice lines that allows me to remember certain levels in my analysis, so I won't have to reinvent myself every time I'm trading. And I can quickly go back to where I've stopped. And then if I open it again, it's going to stay just like that. See, I went for something else. Let's open coffee again, and it's right here waiting for me. To be able to squeeze down the chart, all I have to do is just to click on the price column, click and drag it down. Then I can move it up and down. Okay. And then to open this sidebar, all I have to do is click sell or buy. There you go. Let me change it to the minimum. You'll understand why very soon. Now, right now, we're looking at coffee. Coffee seems like it's bullish, but we're not buying that because it was bearish yesterday. You know what? Let's buy that. No problem. Let's take the bait. Let's suppose that this is a buy, just as an example. Of course, we're not taking a position. We still change our mind, but this is a nice way to simulate what can possibly happen. And now, let's suppose that we're going to go with a buy. Okay, now, if coffee goes up, will I make profits? Let's also put down now price. Okay, is 233.3. Okay, and I have a question for you guys. Let's put down here coffee. Okay, if I buy coffee at 233.3 and the value increase, will I make profits? What do you think, guys? Let's suppose that I told you guys that this is a buy and coffee went up. Okay, coffee goes up. Goes up. The answer is yes. Okay. What if it goes down? So let's suppose I bought some coffee now. It went up to, let's say, somewhere here. Okay, and then it went down to the red area. Okay. Will I still make profits, or as soon as it goes down, I'll make a loss? What do you think, guys? Does it needs to stay in the green, or if it goes down, I'm not gonna make profits anymore? Let's go down, you lose. Okay, correct. Very nicely, very nice. So we understand something very important. If I'm just gonna blindly go with a buy, there is the potential, of course, that coffee is gonna go down. Only buy doesn't give me anything. If you tell me, Danny, you can buy, the first thing that I'm gonna ask you is, what price can coffee go up to? Just a buy doesn't give me a lot, because look how frequent the buy and sell changing, right? switching to 5 minutes candles just to show you. So for instance, if I bought it here, right, and it went up and I've made some profits, then it goes down. Now I'm in a problem. Yeah, I'm in a problem. I'm buying, then it goes down. I'm in a problem. So only buy doesn't give me a lot. I need the buy to be consistent enough for me to make the profits, unless I'm quickly closing it here, which I don't intend to. Okay, so only the buy doesn't give me a lot. I need some measurement. With this understanding, what price do we need the coffee to get to make enough profits? So when can we close the position with a profit? When can we close? Can we close it here in the green? Can we close it here in the pink? Do we need it to get to the white line? When are we supposed to close the position? In here, maybe in here, or maybe in here. You know what? Let's go ambitious. Let's make it mustard. Which from those lines are we aiming coffee to get to? To here, to here, to here, or to here? If you tell me that you want coffee to be here, what I'm going to tell you guys is that coffee, let me exaggerate and switch to months, has been there only, well, I don't think that it has been there, right? No, it hasn't. So guys, coffee has never reached there, and the last time that it was even close to that price was 2 years ago. And if I need to wait 2 years for this position, oh boy, that is not something that I intend to do. So how do I get better indication where can coffee get to without waiting 2 years, which is abstracting? Well, one of the things that I can do is I can quickly compare the size of the candles that I have before, since this is days. I can say this one seems to me like it's around that size, that one around. Yeah, but that's not very precise. What else we can do is we can take the differences between the open to the close and the high and the lows. And if we subtract the open from the close and the high from the lows, then we have measurement what happened in between the trading session yesterday. So we can just put down the numbers. 241.8, close is 232.2, high is 241.8, and low is 230.05. And now all I have to do is I'm going to take the numbers, which are the top and the bottom, and I'm going to subtract the top from the bottom, which gives me a movement of 9.6 yesterday for coffee. And between the open to the, oh, sorry, this one is the bottom and the top. This is one is the open and the close. So that's the beginning of the trading session and the end of the trading session. Now I can see two intervals. We have 9.6. This is from here to here, and we have 1175, which is from here to here, and that's not bad at all. But the problem is that this is just one candle, right? And to rely on one candle, we can already see that each candle here is different. So Danny, are we going to rely on one candle? Absolutely not. But from the other end, to start taking all the numbers, if I want to do this if I want to include that one and this one and that one, now I'm going to have to write down all of the numbers. No, that's crazy. What we can do, this is called manual check, by the way. It's primitive technique. We have an indicator to take our averages instead. We can click here on FX indicator where it says type to filter. Going to click here and go AVE. And then I'm quickly going to take the ATR and drag it to the right. We have different types: Wheeler, simple, weighted, and exponential. We're going to say Wheelers for the time being. And the length is the number of candles that we wishes the ATR to analyze and give us an average from. And for that, we can choose, let's say, let's go with 10. Okay, and let's change the color to mustard. And now we see that the average movement for coffee is actually 6.8. So we understand that yesterday is, well, quite exceptional as compared to the average. You see, that's 10 candles analyzed and not a single. Much more precise. Again, it's only an average range. It's not a guaranteed number. All right, so we have some idea where to go now, or what to expect. Now, this is still very messy, and I have no idea when to close the position. So even if I make profits, when will I close it? Am I just going to click here buy and wait for it to move up 6.8? Yeah, doesn't seem too wise. What I can do is I can set myself certain guidelines to have a certain target, to have a certain time length that I'm willing to wait to make that money, to have a certain movements that we are expecting. And we also need to know the necessary units to acquire to be able to get to our amount. So let's suppose that my target is going to be 500, which is 5% of my account. And the time length that I'm willing to wait is 1 week. And the movements, actually, let's go with 1 day, right? And this is very ambitious, by the way, 5% a day, but still, let's try. 6.8 is the average movement. Let's put here ATR equals 6.8. And we're going to see now the price. It's a little bit confusing. I think I'm going to get rid of the white line. Actually, let's keep it and make it green. That one we're going to make red. I would like to design my take profit according to that. So we're going to click on the take profit, and then we're going to mark potentially the price when we wishes to close the coffee position, as long as we can make 500, right? So if I add, because we are with a buy, and we understood, okay, when we are with a buy, the value we wanted to increase. When we sell, we want the value to decrease. When we buy and the value decreases, we have a loss. And when we are selling and the value increases, we have a loss. In other words, when I'm buying and I want the value to go higher, my take profit will also be higher. My stop loss will be under my price. Therefore, if I wish to buy and I wish to mark a take profit, it needs to be in a higher place. And if I acknowledge the ATR, which is 6.8, I can add it on top of the current price to have an idea where it can be take profit. Therefore, $240.1. 240.1. And now I understand that if it gets from here to here, let me be a little more precise on that one. Okay, I'm gonna make 62 quid and a half. Therefore, because I want to make 500, how many do I need? So I'm not sure that this 6.8 is really a number that I like, because if I let me show you. If I want to know how many units, I need to divide my target by my movement, and then I know the units. Therefore, 500 divided by 60 is how much, guys? Oh, sorry, I did something. 500 divided by 60 is 8.3. Yeah, I'm not sure that we can't take less than 10, right? In this case, oh, sorry, 6.8. I'm at 6.8, and that's 735. Now, if I'm going to try to do that, it might be a problem for a few flavors. A, what do you think, guys? Is that a position that I can take or not? All right, we're putting this segment aside to understand what's happening here. Okay. Just a second, I'm writing something for you guys. Okay. Now, let's understand what's happening here quickly, right? Okay. What's happening here is we want to buy 735 units of coffee, and we want to know if we have enough money to do that, because it seems like the buy button here is gray. Now, let's go by the equation that I wrote down and understand what's happening here. So price per unit is 233.3. Don't worry, we are going back to that, but we want to know if we can open the position. 233 is the price per unit, times units 735. Also, it tells us that the increments should be in 10, and this is why 735 is not even valid. But let's suppose that the value here is 172,000. Danny, how did you do the calculation so fast? I didn't. It's written right here. But just for the sake of the example, okay, if I'll go precise with what's after the decimal, we're going to get this exact number. All right, the leverage here is 1 to 10, as we already saw. Second equation is value divided by leverage, therefore 172,000 divided by 10, which brings us to 17,220. Balance is 10,000. I don't know if you saw, guys, but my balance is 10,000. Now, if I need 17,220 and my balance is 10,000, without being an expert in trading, is that a position that I can take or not? Anybody can tell me. All right, Alfred, you wrote no. Billy, you don't have enough money. That's correct, sir. Who else understand that I cannot take the position because I don't have enough money? Thank you, Maya. Very good, very good. So you guys understand. What I have to do is I have to adjust the target that I want to make, or to take lower lot size, and then I have to expand my movement. Yeah, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for 5 instead. The ATR, I'm going to make it 5 instead. And instead of trying to make 500, which requires me to have, sorry, that doesn't make a lot of sense for some reason. Let me quickly do something like that, right? That makes much more sense. Okay. Unfortunately, it seems like I've divided the number primarily by a false number, and this is why it led us to this. Perhaps I've added maybe a zero, or I don't know what the calculation was done, but this is the exact calculation, and this shows me that I can definitely take the position even for more like this. All right, now as you can see, let me show it to you again. 500 divided by 6.8 is 73. 73 is not doable because the increments here are in 10. So I can either round it to 70 or round it to 80. Let's make it 70. Okay, and in here I'm going to put 70. This all can change. Instead of 735, it will be 73. This comes down to 16 instead of 175. In here, that's going to be like that. And that goes down by a 0. All right. Of course, I'm doing it for you guys, but you don't have to because it's already on the platform, right? Hope everybody understand that. Right. So with this new calculation, with the correct calculation, and we understand that the answer here is 73. We adjusted it to 70. Now everything makes sense. So the ATR is 6.8, and we can see that everything here makes sense. We're just not making enough money, so I think let's try 80 instead. Oh, there we go. That's more like it. It's much more like it. 80 is. This is why I would probably prefer to take a round number instead of 6.8. I would take a round number, but it seems like it's working, so we can stick with that. Adjust it to 80. This one, we're not going to keep changing the numbers. We've understood the concept, and that's great. And in the units, we've modified that instead of 73 to 80. And now everything makes sense. We have the now price, 233. We have the TP price, take profit price, 240.1. Okay, and the last thing we have to do is the stop loss. Now, if I'm looking at the main comparison between the take profit to the stop loss, and I take the same length between my entry to the take profit and the entry to my stop loss, then I can look at the same 6.8, and I can see that my potential loss is potential gain should be the same if I take the same length. Therefore, 233.3 minus 6.8 is 226, which is exactly, well, not exactly, but 226. And as you can see, if I put it here, I will potentially make $500 or lose potentially $500. Okay, let's test it out. Test it out. Okay, increased. Oh, it increased by $1. Let's increase them by $1 as well, and let's increase that by $1 as well. Okay, the most important thing, guys, is you understand the process. Really, the numbers, if it's 500 or it's going to keep on moving and mess with our numbers anyway. So to get a precise number, you can do it if you aim for a precise number, and then it stays. Okay, but otherwise, the most important thing here is the process. Okay, so to recap what happened here, just before we say goodbye. Initially, we only had a direction. Then after the direction, we understood that we need some indication when to stop the trade, at what price. Afterwards, when we had an indication from one candle, it wasn't enough, so we added the ATR, which what it does is analyze the amount of candles we choose, and thanks to that, we have some measurement what we expect. After we have applied the ATR, we understood that the average is 6.8. When we understood that the average is 6.8, we had to divide our target by that movement to understand the necessary units. And for that equation, target divided by movements equals units. When we understood that a 73 is not enough, we have adjusted it to 80 to increase the units, and with this increase our potential profit and unfortunately the potential loss as well. And now we are in a point that our potential gain and potential loss is the same. The only thing that left missing for me to compose this position with a bit more sense is that the ratio here, instead of being 1-to-1, will be 1-to-1/2. So instead of locating my stop loss $6.8 away, I'm going to chop this by half, which means instead of $6.8 away, it will be 3.4. So let's go 234 minus 3.4, which brings me to 230, which is here. If I do that, it's going to cut my potential loss by half. Almost. Okay, but this is how you can adjust the ratio. You can adjust your possible profit, your possible loss. This is a great tool to understand where you're standing. Okay, my job here today, guys, with this webinar is not to help you become rich or anything like that. My job here is to help you get a clear overview and to be able to manage your positions a bit more efficiently, or to create them a bit more efficiently. So this way is not mandatory, it's optional. You can use it, you can utilize it, you can evolve with it in your own pace. Like I said, this webinar is recorded, so even if you missed a part, you can watch it again in our YouTube channel. And that's it for today. Unfortunately, our time is done. I would like to invite you all to tomorrow's live Q&A. Tomorrow we will have a very unique concept, allows you to join and ask the questions on the screen and get the answers on the screen, which is very useful. And until then, I wish you all profitable trading and have a good day.